how much it cost me to attend Movement Music Festival. I just did my very first Movement Music Festival, and it is a 3-day house and techno festival in Detroit, Michigan, and it was so much fun. And I'm gonna tell you the exact cost of everything I spent over this weekend. So I got to Michigan on a Friday. Movement was Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then I left Michigan on Tuesday. So over 5 days, how much did I spend at Movement, outside of Movement, and then a grand total of all the costs will be shared at the very end of this video. So let's get into it. So before I even went to Movement, I had to buy my ticket, and I got a VIP ticket, and that cost me $492.85. I also needed to book the hotel and get my flight. So I flew Delta, and that cost me $378.96. Booked the hotel prior to Movement, but I didn't get charged until I actually checked in. So me and my friends split the room cost. For my share of the room, it was $595.70. And I also bought an afters ticket before going to Movement, and that cost me $66. Now the receipt shows it's $132 just because I bought mine and my friend's ticket and he sent me the money. So $66 for the after party. Now those were all the costs that I spent prior to going to Movement. So now I start tracking everything from the moment that I step foot in the airport and then the moment that I come back. So we're gonna start getting in the cost from day one Friday all the way through Tuesday when I'm coming home. On Friday, once I finally landed in Michigan, the Lyft ride from the airport to the hotel was $48.99. And Friday night, since it wasn't Movement, me and my friend were just kind of exploring Michigan, kind of running around. So we had a few lifts and a few drinks and some food. For a Lyft, it was $9.97. For an Uber, it was $9.97, which is kind of crazy that I had a Lyft and an Uber cost the same exact amount. That's kind of weird to me. We also went to a rooftop. So what me and my friend do is like, we just kind of take turns paying for things. Like he gets around somewhere and then I get around somewhere. So the rooftop that we went to was for 2 people, and this cost me $99.84. Now we're getting into the cost that I spent at Movement. So Saturday was the first day of Movement. I drank and I ate this day. For one margarita, it cost me $28.29. I got another round of drinks for me and my friends. So drinks for 2 was $54.47. The first meal of the day that I got was arancinis, and this cost me $17.71. And then I also ate later on at the end of the night, and I got steak quesadillas, and this cost me $23.36. And that's all I spent for Friday. So now getting into Saturday, before we went to the festival, me and my friend went to go have lunch. Lunch for 2 people cost me $45.86. And then getting into the festival, I ate one time later on in the day, and that cost me $22. And then I also got merch that day, which is this shirt, and that cost me $42.40. After the festival, we went to an after party. So I already bought the ticket before I even got to Movement. All I had to do was pay for the Lyft there. My friend paid for the Lyft back. So the Lyft to the afters cost me $10.99. And the only thing I had at the afters was a water bottle, and that cost me $4. Monday was the last day of the festival, and I only spent money on food this day. So for my first meal of the day, it cost me $16.60, and it was for a cheesesteak. And then at the end of the day before I left, I got a shawarma bowl and a Dubai chocolate chip cookie, and this cost me $32.14. And then Tuesday was my last day in Detroit, so no festival expenses, but I did have to take a Lyft to the airport, so that cost me $45.94. And then I also ate McDonald's before getting on my flight, and that cost me $8.88, which I left that. Angel numbers, by the way. When I got home, I paid to park at the airport instead of like Ubering back and forth or having somebody drop me off, and so that cost me $60. So those are all of the expenses from Friday through Tuesday. And now I'm gonna break down of the exact cost that I spent on Movement and at Movement, and then all the costs outside of Movement, and then a grand total of how much I spent for this whole weekend. So my grand total of just Movement expenses was $795.82. And then all of the expenses that I spent outside of Movement was $1,319.10 for a grand total of everything that I spent for my movement weekend was $2,114.92. Yes, that seems like a lot of money to spend. However, this isn't going to be the cost for everybody, right? Not everybody's going to get a VIP ticket, or not everybody's going to eat twice at a festival. Some people don't even want to buy merch, or they don't drink. There are ways to go about it. I want to enjoy my time. I don't cut corners. I'm not cheap. I'm also 35 years old. Like, I have a full-time job outside of content creating, and so I make decent money. So I'm just at a point in my life where I'm okay spending this type of money, and I don't need to cut corners or be so budget friendly. I like to stay in nice hotels. I like to have the nice foods, experience all the things that I want to experience. So don't freak out if you're like, oh my God, it's going to cost me $2,000 to go to movement. It's not. Everybody is at different places in their life. And if you do not have $2,000 to spend on a weekend at movement or any other festival, like, that is okay. And some people don't even want to spend there. I used to be more budget friendly, but I'm just not at that place anymore. I'm older. I make a lot more money, so I'm a little bit more comfortable spending that. But also, like, I save and budget for these things. That $2,000 that I spend, like, I made money on that through my credit card rewards, through cash back and travel points. I made a whole video on this, so you can go watch that there, and how, like, every time I spend money, like, I'm getting cash back. It helps, which then I'm gonna turn around and use for other festivals. Like, I track every purchase on my credit card, so I am getting rewarded every time I swipe that card. Hopefully this helps you can get an idea of what a festival weekend could spend, whether you plan on spending $2,000 or you want to budget a lot less, or even just saying, fuck it, I want to spend a lot more. Like, this is just giving my traveling rave fam an idea of how much a festival weekend could cost, because I used to be so oblivious to this. Like, I pay the ticket and then it just goes out of my mind. But I want to be more aware of what I'm actually spending, so then I can, like, really budget for other festivals, because, like, the type of festivals I'm doing, like, I am traveling for these things. So it's going to cost more, because you have to factor in the hotel and Ubers to and from airports and things like that. So I like to just be aware. I just want you guys to be aware as well. And if you would like to see more of my movement experience, I already have out my 3-day vlog showing my entire experience, and then a full walking tour of the venue. And if you should get VIP or GA, because I mentioned that I got a VIP ticket, I talk about the differences in VIP and GA, and if that's something that you're interested in for movement, so go ahead and check those videos out as well. There's already a playlist out there. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.